Bonjour tout le monde. Good evening to everybody. We're starting our session in 30 seconds. Welcome to everybody. We finally are starting our free bootcamp on PMO certification. Sorry for the technical issue we had last week. So we hope you are all set for the full event. So we shall be conducting the event in French and English. I'll be driving you through the PMO concept during our session, and we will touch base on what is actually PMO, go through the functions that we can have within a PMO. We talked about the type of PMO on how to select the appropriate PMO for your organization. We also discuss a key framework that I really love, that's CB-PMO, and we see also some of the potential application that we may have in it. We equally talk about the PMO Roadmap, and by the end of our session, I will present you two key certifications. The first one is CA-PMO, and the second one being the CB-PMO. Well, without further ado, let me dive into the topic directly. And before that, I'd like to introduce myself. CA-PMO is my name. I work with DreamAlike. That is a consulting company working in IT, telecom, providing financial services. And amongst the key activities, we also have trainings, and that's why we are here today. If I can throw a little bit on my background, well, I'm an engineer with an executive MBA. I have more than 20 years of experience in various domains, like in IT globally, electrical engineering, project management, PMO setup and management, and many other stuff. In terms of qualification, I have a couple of certifications, just to name a few. I'm PMP certified. I am certified CB-PMO I'm CA-PMO certified. I am an authorized PMO GI instructor. I love to share my knowledge. That's why you see I am a crucial accountability certified trainer. That is a leadership training. And I have already facilitated many sessions, more than 1,000 people that have been saved already, mainly in project management, PMO management, leadership training, enterprise architecture, and many other stuff. I'm also a fan of sport. I like what you call taekwondo. I'm actually an international referee. That being said, what is uh, PMO in fact? It's an acronym, PMO. And you may say it's Project Management Office. You are right. If you say it's Program Management Office or Portfolio Management Office, you are also right. In fact, a PMO is a group consisting of internal and external entities. We call them stakeholders, which define, maintains, and ensure standard for project management to deliver strategic initiative. That's a definition from the PMO guidebook. We see what is that PMO guidebook very soon. So, if I can say it in French, un PMO, c'est en fait un bureau de gestion de projet qui est un groupe composé d'entités, de personnes externes ou internes à une organisation et qui définit, maintient et garantit les normes de gestion de projet pour mener à bien les initiatives stratégiques de l'entreprise ou alors de son organisation. Je voudrais partager avec vous quelques statistiques. 85% of organizations had PMO in place in 2022. That is a statistic from PMI. Donc en 2022, il est reporté que nous avons environ 85% d'entreprises ayant un PMO en leur sein. Autre statistique, toujours venant du PMI, 38% de projets, if I can say it in English, 88% more projects meeting their original goals and business intent compared to those without PMO. Donc, il est indiqué qu'on a 38% d'entreprises qui atteignent leur objectif s'ils ont un PMO comparé à ceux qui ne l'ont pas. Il est aussi dit, cette fois-ci par PMO Global Institute, que 65%, on a une livraison de 65% de projets entre les entreprises qui sont matures par rapport à ceux qui ne le sont pas. En anglais, so more mature PMO have 65% higher success rate in achieving project objective than those who are not. Une autre statistique, 70% of organizations are expected to adopt agile or hybrid project management models by 2026. This is from Ghana. Agile is gaining more and more momentum in different organizations, different industries, and so on. Even those who are typically in an environment where we absolutely need the waterfall approach, they are way to integrate few agile methodologies and be more productive and more efficient. Sorry. I will end my statistic with this one. 85% of CEO believe that artificial intelligence will significantly impact their business in the next 5 years. Yeah, we're talking more and more about AI. Some people are afraid that they will lose their jobs. Some are really happy to embrace AI, but guess what? That is the new way. It's better to see the positive aspect than staying on the negative one. And if you're smart enough, you just realize that AI is a key tool to improve your efficiency, to improve your productivity. So the earlier we adopt it, the better it will be for us. That being said, let's get into the PMO structure and type. I like to say that, well, for organizations, there is no one fit all PMO type. So you really need to adapt it to your environment, the type of business you are in, type of structure, even the maturity of your organization, right? So when you think about the PMO, you should really be looking for something that can properly be integrated in your environment, that can suit your environment. It's not a copy paste. It's definitely not a copy paste. When you're thinking about PMO, you should get the background of your company and take it as an input before selecting the, the one that fit your organization. Well, we have several types of PMO. Uh, we say a PMO is a project management office, right? So we have at the base project. PMO is there to manage project in the different way. You may have a supportive, you may have a supportive PMO who is there providing you, guidelines, who provide you some necessary tools and knowledges to support the achievement of your project, right? That is called supportive PMO. The next one that you can have is a controlling PMO. It's ideal for organizations that require a high level of control and governance, right? So this type of PMO ensures that projects are aligned with the organization strategies and are executed in a disciplined way, in a structured manner. So at this stage, the PMO don't only support but enforce as well the compliance with the standards. The third one being the directive PMO. Here, the PMO will handle the project management directly, execute projects, right, from the beginning to the delivery. So all this being said, those are the main basic structures that we can have in terms of PMO. And depending on the scope, depending on the footprint, we may have different name, right? If the PMO is within a department, if the PMO is within a subdivision, we may call it business unit PMO or organizational PMO. You may create a PMO for a specific purpose. Let's take, for instance, your organization may be in a highly regulated environment, and after an audit, there are a couple of findings that are really urgent to tackle. You may decide to create a PMO for that. And when the objective is achieved, you may also choose to close the PMO. We call it special purpose PMO. As you manage projects, you may have in your portfolio some that are interrelated, right? That had some dependencies. And when you are in such situation, it might be good to handle it as a program. And when you handle it as a program, yes, we can call the PMO the Program Management Office, or you call it Center of Excellence. And if the PMO handles the entire company project portfolio, then we call it Enterprise PMO. That is a portfolio management office. Usually, this type of PMO, the head of the unit will usually report to the CEO of the organization. Besides this, you may have some specific and special PMO, the compliance PMO. Yeah, uh, still in line with uh, for instance, within the bank or within another highly regulated organization, you may have PMO that just make sure that things are done properly according to the regulations, according to a specific framework or the business requirements that you have within your field. Um, we also have what we call the digital PMO. Today, I like to say almost all PMOs should be digital PMOs because you realize that going forward, it's becoming really difficult to be efficient in managing a PMO if you don't have a tool. So all the PMO having a tools that helps them to properly manage their project are called digital PMO. So they have a software that helps them to handle all the initiatives that they have within their unit. An agile PMO is just a PMO where uh, the agile concept has been adopted, integrated. Right. So, like I said, it's not one fits all. So you really need to dive into the specificity of your organization to decide what are the type of PMO you like to have in your organization. And when you have that, remember that the PMO should be set to address a specific need. And to address those needs, you really need to put in place some specific functions that will help you to achieve the agree. And the functions really depend on the scope of your organization. It really depends on the complexity of the environment, the type of industry you are in, even the maturity level of the organization in terms of project management. Many other stuff will be taken in consideration. That being said, you may have functions like I just want to name few, so it's not an exhaustive one. Uh, Ensuring project alignment with strategic initiative. Yeah, today it just makes no sense to have a PMO who works on everything. What you have in the PMO scope must be aligned with the key initiative of your organization. Enhancing project execution. That is the next one that you may have. Improve process. Improve process. Standardize the way of doing things. Implement the PMO software. Remember, I tell you today, if you're setting up a PMO, you have to have a PMO software. It's key. You have to have a PMO software. A PMO as well should ensure the project governance. Right. And the basic one is you may decide to manage the project, the program, or the portfolio. Right. Those are other functions that you may have within a PMO. As well, ensuring optimal management of resources. Remember, resources are most of the time scarce resources, so we should manage them in an optimal way. Professional development and coaching. Yeah, within the PMO, it's good to have a function that ensures the development of the internal team and eventually the development of the overall organization. PMO should really spread out the best practices around his activity within the organization. When you are in the PMO, you should really be a key adept of continual development. And one thing that helps to live the continual development is to be able to apply what you have learned from the past. So you should have a function that is there to manage the lesson learned. Right. Let's just name a few. You may have many other specific functions. Remember, I tell you, a PMO is not one fits all. It's really neat to be linked to your organization. Sorry, I've been going through in English essentially, but just to put a few words in French, un PMO, il n'y a pas de formule bateau. On n'a pas une solution qui marche partout. Il faudrait absolument toujours adapter son bureau de projet à son environnement. Il faudrait toujours adapter son bureau de projet à son entreprise. Et ses fonctions du type d'entreprise, de l'environnement dans lequel on travaille, de la complexité des sujets avec lesquels on fonctionne tous les jours, la complexité des projets, le type d'industrie. On ne va pas gérer les projets en environnement IT exclusivement comme on gère un projet dans la construction, dans le bâtiment. Et c'est aussi fonction du niveau de maturité de l'entreprise en matière de gestion de projet. Et donc, cela dit, vous devez mettre sur pied des fonctions qui concourent à la réalisation de vos objectifs. Et pour y arriver, j'aime bien parler d'un framework. There's a framework that I really like, yeah, because our motto is we are not here to reinvent the wheel. And when they are best practices, it's good to use them just to fly, right? I would like to present you one of the key frameworks that I've seen in the whole of the PMO over my 20 years of experience. One of the best, simple, easy to use, easy to customize, easy to integrate with your organization. That PMO is called, that framework is called the CB-PMO framework. It's a PMO, it's a framework, one say, that has been developed by PMO Global Institute. Donc, le CB-PMO Framework a été développé par PMO Global Institute et vous allez le trouver donc le PMO Guidebook. You find the CB-PMO Framework in the PMO Guidebook. You can purchase the physical version. You can also download the electronic version on PMO Global Institute website when you are a subscriber there. So let's dive into the framework itself. The framework has 4 layers, 4 main layers. The first one being foundation layer. The second one is executive layer. The third one is supporting layer. And the last but not the least is leadership and sponsorship layer. So just to repeat myself in French, le CB-PMO Framework est globalement divisé en 4 piliers. Dans le premier pilier, c'est Foundation Layer, le second, Executive Layer, le troisième, Supportive Layer, le quatrième, Leadership and Sponsorship. On va aller un peu dans les détails. Alors, au niveau de la première couche, le premier pilier, c'est à ce niveau que nous allons définir l'objectif du business. At this stage, you define the business objective, you define the PMO strategy, and if it is an existing PMO, you do the health check of the PMO. You assess the maturity of the PMO. And from there, you analyze and define the required functions that you need. Because you have the as-is situation of your organization, and when you define where you like to be in terms of maturity level, you will put in place what we call the PMO Roadmap. When you have all that, it must be documented in a document that we call a PMO charter. We like to say, whenever you want to set up a PMO, you should handle it as a project. And when we say you should handle it as a project, all the project managers, you understand that it is a must to have a PMO charter. Right. Une fois que nous avons notre charte de PMO définie et validée par son sponsor, nous pouvons regarder et passer au deuxième pilier, qui est executable layer. At this level, we define what we call 2PG, policy, procedure, and governance. We usually recommend when you're setting up a PMO to always go for a proof of concept. That will give you a chance to adjust before going fully live. Donc, c'est à ce niveau qu'on va faire un POC, un proof of concept. Il faudrait toujours avoir des KPI. Always make sure that you have KPIs, that is key performance indicator, because that is a key tool for you to properly assess how you're moving, how you're progressing, how efficient you are, how you're achieving your goals, right? And go and find the key competencies that you need in order to achieve your result. It's why you call define roles and develop competencies. Okay. And when that is done, you should always aim to evaluate your performance, evaluate your return on investment. By the way, that is really what your stakeholders are expecting from you. They want to quickly see the value of your organization. They want to quickly see how you impact positively the, the entire organization. And for that, you should track your performance. You should track your performance on a daily basis. You should track your performance on a daily basis. Adjust your report. Tailor the report that you have according to your audience, according to your stakeholders. The report that a PMO sent to a CEO should not be the one that they send to the CIO or to the chief marketing officer. That being completed, let's move to the next layer of our framework. Here, the third layer, the supporting layer, is where you will develop your models. You have your artifact, right? You define how to manage your stakeholders. You take into consideration your environment. You make sure that you include them properly. You think about the technology stack. I want to insist on one thing. Don't aim to manage a PMO without a software, a PMO software. And today's PMO software should include artificial intelligence. If you have to select one, remember to check if you have those specific features. At this level as well, you will document your team structure, and you have to have in place a succession plan. Please, if you are a leader, if you are working within a PMO, if you are leading a PMO, don't be those leaders who work in a way that after them is everything stop. No. When you are a leader, you should work to create other leaders. So think about it. You also have at this stage to document the supporting functions, document the structure of your PMO, right? And that PMO might also be an agile PMO. When you have all these in place, we think as well about the last layer, not the least. I like to say when I'm in front of someone who is afraid of the AI, to say without the human, there is no AI. The AI has been developed by people. If there is no one, there is no people, there is no AI. We must have a leader within the PMO to keep it running, to get it delivering the expected result. That is PMO leadership. And there are two essential points you have to have in place: the executive sponsorship, the way you dealing with your executive sponsor, and one key tool, if I can name it like that, is emotional intelligence. Si vous êtes un leader, faites usage de votre intelligence émotionnelle pour pouvoir gérer vos équipes, pour pouvoir gérer votre PMO. Et même, il est de plus en plus prouvé que quel que soit l'environnement dans lequel on se trouve, utiliser ses facultés d'intelligence émotionnelle permet d'obtenir des résultats nettement meilleurs qu'autre chose. Yes, this is the beautiful framework that I encourage you to discover, embrace it, integrate it within your organization. Right. And when it's properly integrated, it's not like you must use all the component that you have. No. You should use it to address your specific need. So you go into the different layers, you pick the one that is more appropriate for your organization. So you may use it for the competency development. You may use it for the standardization of your functions, for the alignment of the various methodologies that you may have within your organization. Might be the project management methodologies and so on and so forth. Maturity assessment and development. You remember I mentioned the PMO maturity. I even mentioned the project management maturity. You may have the maturity in different areas, right? Strategic alignment. Yeah. Aligning the initiatives that you work on shouldn't be something that is emotional. It should be rational. It should be based on key agree methodologies. It has to be agreed within your organization, and you use it, and you select the various initiatives you work on. You may use it for your governance. You may use it for the reporting of your performance, being project management or whatever. You may use it to monitor and report your performance, right? Like I said. You may use it for training and knowledge management, improve your project delivery. You may also use it for the global competency standardizations. There are many ways of using the CB-PMO framework. I just name a few here. So it's up to you when you discover it to see how you can use it to gain the maximum of it. That being said, I mentioned CB-PMO framework. I mentioned PMO Global Institute. And I guess that you imagine that all this topic somehow we're talking about gaining some competencies, some key competencies in order to produce value. And one of the best way to show to the stakeholders that you are able to produce value is to go into certifications. It's none already, right? So when I say I'm PMP certified, many people will easily understand what I have in terms of the know-how in the project management field. In the PMO field as well, there are various certifications. I'd like to present you two of them. The one promoted by PMO Global Institute. The first one is Certified Associate in PMO, like CA-PMO. And the second one is Certified Baseline PMO Consultant. That is the highest level. It's called CB-PMO. The CA-PMO is really for those who are seeking to establish or enhance their career in project management office, like newcomers, like newly graduated people, or those who just started to gain some interest in the project management area. And this certification covers the fundamentals of what you should know in the PMO, right? I talked about functions. When you go through the session, you will discover in more details way what you must have, what we call the PMO functions. You will discover and we'll discuss there a lot about the project governance, the portfolio management. What does it mean? What is a portfolio? What should we take in consideration when we're talking about the portfolio? Resource allocation, performance metric, performance management, and so on and so forth. So this is the entry level certification. And in order to be allowed to pass the CA-PMO certification, there are prerequisites, right? The prerequisite here is the first one. You should attend a training that is 8-hour formal training delivered by an authorized trainer from PMOGI. You should agree to the code of conduct and ethic aspect prescribed by PMOGI. Yeah. In terms of background, well, it's required that you have at least a bachelor degree or equivalent. I say yearly that you don't have to have experience in project management, but in case you have an experience, that is a plus, right? And if you even have a project management background, that is also a key advantage. Remember that school you make to study in the project management field itself. When you have all those, you have a certificate that has been delivered to you by the training organization. You will use it for your application for the exam, for the certification exam. And once that is accepted, when your application is accepted, you pay the fee of $199 for the exam. and you can do the exam. You have 1 year to pass your exam when your application has been accepted. And in case the first attempt is not a successful one, you still have 2 attempts within the same year. And for each of those 2 attempts, uh, you'll pay $129. Yes, that is for the CA-PMO. Feel free to ask your question or your comment in the comment flow. We will make sure that we answer all of them, right? The next one is the CB-PMO. This more advanced one is really for experienced people, for those who have a strong knowledge in project management, right? When you pass this certification, you become an expert. We call you an expert in PMO. And to be eligible for the exam, you have to go through a training session. It's at least a 21 hours of training delivered by an authorized instructor from PMO Global Institute. You should have at least 5 years of experience in project management, or you have a bachelor degree with 7,500 hours of leading and directing project management experience. Or if you have a high school diploma, you have to have 10,500 hours of leading project. And there is also another key point. You should also agree on code of conduct, ethic. It is a must. It's not mentioned here, but it is a must. If you also have the CA-PMO, then your 5 years of project management is taken in consideration. When you have that, with the certificate delivered to you by the training organization, you apply for your certification exam. And once that is approved, you have 1 year to pass your exam. And the exam fee is $399 for the first attempt. And the second and third attempts are priced $199. Yeah, that is the certification. It might be intimidating for you guys, but guess what? We are here to support you. Jimelek is there to support you. Jimelek is here to make sure that your journey is really, smoothly handled. Jimelek is an authorized training provider from PMO GI, and we have different sessions for those certifications. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to tell you that we have some incoming sessions, and those who are here by listening to this session now, they have the chance to be enrolled in a very good price. They have the chance to attend either the CA-PMO session or the CB-PMO session. All right. The incoming session that we have still in October, on 26th of October, you have the CA-PMO session. And we have a special offer for those. We have special offer for those who will attend the session at $499. $499. You remember the exam is $199. But we're providing you a package, a bundle of $499 that includes the training, the exam. We provide you what we call a simulator that will help you to be well prepared in such that the day you go for the exam, there is more confidence, right? Usually, we have a ratio. When you reach that level, we are certain, we are sure that if you do, you go on for your exam, you pass it. And we also have a dedicated coaching sessions just to accompany you during your journey. And this is only for $499. This is the CA-PMO. For the CB-PMO, we have a session. The October session is already ongoing, and that is full. We have an incoming session, November 1, that will start on 9th of November. The registration is already open, and I also have an offer for you guys. Normally, the session is $1,499. But we offer you at $699 for only to those who are here. And that includes the training, the exam fee. You remember the exam fee is $399. A simulator, the simulator that will help you to prepare, to be well prepared for the exam on our individual coaching sessions. Yeah, the objective being to make sure that when you go at the first attempt, you succeed your exam. Yeah. If you are here, you can scan the QR code, and the QR code will drive you, will pop up the registration link so that you can be eligible for this amount. $699. $699. This is the price. So I encourage you guys to register before it gets full, and only those who register today will benefit from those specific prices. Yeah. So let's see if you have some questions. Answer them. Do not hesitate to type your question in the chat. And you can follow us on our various pages. All right. Dreamelec. And for those who cannot scan the QR code, you have on screen the link dreamelec.pro/PMO training. Yeah. Do it. You have today to submit your registration. We moving toward the end of our session. Moving toward the end of our session. Yeah. There's one question here. Can we have a direct PMO and supportive PMO within the same organization? The answer is yes. Remember, you may have a business unit organization, PMO, and within an organization, within a company, you may have multiple PMOs. One department may have a supportive PMO. Another department may have other type of PMOs. That's a good question. I'm reading another question. Who should sign the charter? I think I mentioned it. The person who should sign the charter is the sponsor. All PMO, all project managers, they know that the charter is signed by the PMO. Other question I'm reading, what is the timeline to set up a PMO? Well, that is a good question. And remember, I said there's no one fit all, and depending on your own specificity, it might take, it might be quick, or it might also take long. But you should bear in mind that we don't set up a PMO overnight. No, it's a long journey. Usually, when you set up a PMO, well, except if it is a PMO for special purpose, usually you should set your PMO in the way that it will last very long. And I used to recommend, you may envisage to get your PMO up and running like within 90 days, or whatever. So it's up to you. It really depends on the specific one that you have. Alors, une autre question que je vois, comment alignez-vous les objectifs du PMO avec la stratégie globale de l'entreprise? Très bonne question. Vous vous souvenez, j'ai dit, ça ne devrait pas être une initiative qui dépend d'une personne. En tant qu'organisation, il faudrait d'entrée de jeu s'accorder sur les outils à utiliser. Et en la matière, on en a plusieurs. Vous devez avoir sur pied, par exemple, si l'entreprise a défini des initiatives stratégiques, le minimum, c'est d'avoir dans votre portefeuille que des initiatives qui ont une liaison avec ces objectifs stratégiques. C'est le minimum. Donc, si en termes de stratégie, l'entreprise voudrait aller au sud et que vous avez un projet qui, par inadvertance, s'est retrouvé dans votre portefeuille qui vous amène vers le nord, vous devez simplement le terminer, le retirer de la liste. C'est une approche. On pourrait avoir plusieurs autres. J'espère avoir répondu à la question. Donc, tout ce que vous faites dans votre portefeuille devrait avoir un impact significatif sur les initiatives clés de l'organisation. Si ça n'a pas pour objectif d'aider l'organisation à atteindre ses résultats, vous devez simplement les retirer de votre portefeuille. Ben voilà. Je pense que nous arrivons à la fin de notre session. It was a pleasure going through the PMO topic. Like I said, well, you have a lot of sources where you can gain good information on PMO. You can follow us on the various social networks on Facebook. You check for Dreamelec, LinkedIn, Facebook. We are also on YouTube. You can see us there. Don't hesitate to ask your question even after the session in the comment, and we'll make sure that we share our feedback on the topic. So, it was a pleasure, and thank you so much. Thank you for joining us tonight. See you for the coming sessions, and I hope to see you guys in the video session cohort training sessions I will organize in the coming days.